Mr. Wright here, and welcome to this fourth film of walkthroughs of IGCSE questions on parallel lines and perpendicular lines. You will find the questions by hitting the link in the description of the video, and this film focuses on questions 16 to 19 of that document, which you will download. Good luck. I hope you find the film useful. By all means, hit like if you do. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and if you are finding this content useful, then subscribe to the channel. Right, let's get on with the maths. Question 16. Okay, I've got two lines here. I've got one line, line A, that passes through these points. Let's write the information for line A here. It passes through this point and this point, and I've got another line, line B, which passes through 4, 7 and 2, 1. And the question is, show that line A and line B are parallel. Now, don't just dive in and do anything. Have a think about what you're being asked to do here. You're being asked to show that the two lines are parallel. So you're only really interested in the gradients of both of the lines. If we find the gradients of both of the lines and we find that the gradients are equal, then the lines are parallel. Job done. So let's find the gradient of A. Now remember, we have to do the difference in the y-coordinates divided by the difference in the x-coordinates. And you can either do the top coordinates minus the bottom or the bottom minus the top. But you have to do the same for the x-coordinates as you do for the y. Now, looking at my y-coordinates, I've got 10 here. So I'm going to do 10 minus 1, the bottom one minus the top one. So I'm going to divide that by 5 minus 2, the bottom one divided by the top one. So that gives me 9 over 3, gives me a gradient of 3. So A has a gradient of 3. What about B? So here I've got 4, 7 and 2, 1. Now I'm going to find it more straightforward to do 7 take away the 1. So I'm going to do 7 take away 1 over, that means I'll have to do 4 take away 2, which gives me 6 over 2, which is 3. Look at that. So the gradients are the same. So the lines are parallel. So I could write something like this. M of A equals M of B implies lines are parallel. There we go. Question 16 complete. Question 17. Look, I've got line A, which passes through these points, and line B, which passes through those points. Let's just write down what we know. So line A goes through 1, 5 and 5, 7. And line B goes through minus 1, 7 and 2, 1. Okay. Show that line A and line B are perpendicular. Right, let's just pause, work out what we're being asked to do. If we need to show the two lines are perpendicular, we're only really going to be interested in their gradients. And if we can show that the product of their gradients is minus 1, then the lines are perpendicular. So let's work out the gradient of A, shall we? I'll draw a line here. So A, now I've got to do the difference in the y-coordinates divided by the difference in the x-coordinates. I'm going to do the bottom point take away the top. So 7 minus 5 over the bottom take away the top. Remember, 5 minus 1. That gives me 2 over 4. A has a gradient of a half. Let's look at the gradient of B. Let's do the top minus the bottom because that's going to be straightforward. 7 minus 1 over the top minus the bottom. Be careful with your signs. That's 6 over minus 3, which gives me minus 2. So I've got MA and MB. Let's see if MA times MB, let's see if that equals minus 1. That's going to be a half multiplied by minus 2, which does equal minus 1, implying that the lines are perpendicular. Question 17, done. Question 18. All right, I've got line A passes through these points. Pass through 3, 6 and 5 minus 2. And I've got line B, which passes through 2, 5 and 8K. Okay. And I'm told they're parallel, look. find the value of k. So I know they have the same gradient, don't I? So I'm going to work out the gradient of line A. So I'm going to do the top, take away the bottom. So it's 6 minus minus 2, be careful of your signs, and 3 minus 5. So that's 6 plus 2 is 8, divided by minus 2. So MA is minus 4, which means that the gradient of B must also be minus 4, mustn't it? Let's come up with an expression for the gradient of B. We need to do the difference in the y coordinates, MB. So that could be k, take away 5, divided by 8, take away 2. So that's going to be k divided by k minus 5 over 6. And we know that that has to equal minus 4, because we know that the gradient of B must be the same as the gradient of A, so it must be minus 4. So now I can simply solve this equation. K minus 5 equals minus 24. I multiply both sides by 6 there. And add 5 gives me k is minus 19. And that is question 18 done. Question 19. Line A passes through the points minus 3, minus 1, and minus 1, 9. And line B passes through the points minus 2, 1, and k, 4. Okay. Line A and B are perpendicular. Find the value of k. Right, well, if I can find the gradient of A, which I can do because I've got the coordinates, then I can find the gradient of B, because the two lines are perpendicular. So let's find the gradient of A. MA. Now, shall I do the top set of coordinates subtract the bottom, or the bottom subtract the top? I'm going to do the bottom subtract the top. 9 minus minus 1 over minus 1 minus minus 3. 10 over, careful with your signs, 2. So the gradient of A is 5, which means that the gradient of B must be the negative reciprocal of that, must be minus a fifth. Okay, let's get an expression for the gradient of B using these points here. So I'm going to do 4 minus 1, the bottom minus the top, over k minus minus 2, the bottom minus the top. Be careful with your signs. 3 over k plus 2. So 3 over k plus 2, the gradient of B, we know that that has to equal minus a fifth. Great. I'm going to multiply both sides by 5, and I'm going to multiply both sides by k plus 2. That's going to give me 15 equals minus 1 times k plus 2. So 15 equals minus k minus 2. So minus k equals 17. K equals minus 17. And that is my answer to question 19. Okay, well done. If you made it to the end of that, then that concludes the 4 video run-throughs of these 19 IGCSE Maths exam questions on perpendicular and parallel lines. So well done. I hope you found the films useful. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. Hit like, go on, make my day. And if you are enjoying this content and it's improving your maths, then subscribe to the channel. See you in the next film.